You're watching Pittsburgh Steelers Talk. I am Tom Downey. That is Jack Sperry, the newest host here of Steelers Talk. A joint show as there's some interesting injury news and notes and updates going on around the Steelers. Potentially major TJ Watt news. There's some conflicting info out there. Mike Tomlin has officially named Pickett the starting QB, and even more injury news coming up. Now, we brought Jack on so we can do even more Steelers videos for you guys here at Pittsburgh Steelers Talk. We are 186 subscribers away from 18,000. And I know for a fact there are well over 200 people watching this video right now who are not subscribed. Let's get that changed. Hit the big red button right now, youtube.com/SteelersTV. Let's begin with TJ Watt. There's some, again, conflicting info out there for us, Jack. What's going on here with Watt just overall for us?
So essentially what's going on right now is there's some conflicting messages with when TJ Watt may come back. There's some that are saying that he could be back as soon as possible, and he's doing everything he possibly can to get back, maybe even by next week. And then there are some, Mike Tomlin saying that he might be on there for a couple more weeks. So there's some conflicting messages there. And at the end of the day, Steelers fans just want him back in the lineup.
No doubt. All right, here are the two different reports. Well, I guess one report, one quote. Jason LaCanfora, who is JLC. We know he's not the most reliable. He's now at the Washington Post, by the way. Said earlier, I think it was late yesterday, quote, "There is hope that in that organization that TJ Watt, the reigning Defensive Player of the Year, could be back in 2 weeks to face Tampa Bay. The Steelers have never won with him injured." That is a fact, by the way. "And I'm told he continues to push to return as soon as possible." Now, at his press conference today, Mike Tomlin says that TJ Watt is still on IR. Duh, he's not eligible to return yet. And he has a couple more weeks on there. Now, I do suppose there's a scenario, Jack, where couple weeks is the rest of this week and then the beginning of next week, and he's back by week 6. But that would be a rather aggressive return timeline for TJ Watt.
It absolutely would. I mean, his injury, the torn pectoral muscle, man, like that usually takes a guy out for a number of weeks, most of the season. So to come back after just a couple of weeks would be an insanely fast return. And would we get the same TJ Watt if he came back? You just don't really know. And I don't have to explain to Steelers fans just how important TJ Watt is to this defense. When he's in this lineup, Mike Tomlin calls up a lot more blitzes to get him one-on-one opportunities. And without him, our pressure rate and sack rate just haven't been the same.
No. Watt has been such an impactful player for this Steelers team. I am still of the mindset that a week 6 return is maybe pushing it just a little bit. Initially reported as more of a 6 to 8 week injury that'd be pretty aggressive. But I think you're right, Jack. There's even the quarterback, maybe. We'll talk about Kenny Pickett in a little bit. Yeah. There's no one more important to this team than TJ Watt.
No. I mean, you look at what this defense likes to do. They like to blitz and so that they can get him one-on-one opportunities to get after quarterbacks. This is why he was the Defensive Player of the Year last year. It's because this defense and Mike Tomlin doing an excellent job at getting him one-on-one opportunities against right tackles mostly, and he does a fantastic job winning and getting to the quarterback.
No, that's what he does best, and it's a big loss to not have TJ Watt out there. All right, so it is prediction time, and if you want to be Mr. Optimistic, speak it into existence, that's fine with me too. But will TJ Watt play against the Buccaneers? Y for yes, N for no. This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here on YouTube, it's great timing. Take advantage of it. Y or N. Let's move now to Kenny Pickett, who, shocker, as expected, we talked about it yesterday. He is the starter, officially named by Mike Tomlin today as the starter against the Buffalo Bills. Here's what Tomlin said in his press conference earlier today. Made a change in the game, and Kenny will start this week. Obviously, Mitch's performance was a component of the decision, but not the only component of the decision. And I just want to be really clear there. Oftentimes, the quarterback position gets too much blame, too much credit. We haven't moved the ball fluidly enough for our liking. We hadn't put enough points on the board. I do very much agree with Tomlin. The quarterback gets too much blame, too much credit. But I think this is the right move, Jack, pretty clearly.
Yeah, pretty clearly the right move. This is kind of the move that we were expecting coming into the week. It just wasn't official. Yesterday, Ian Rappaport sent out a tweet saying that it was expected to be Pickett, and then today Mike Tomlin officially made it official.
Yeah, I don't think there was really any route to go. I made the point on yesterday's video, which y'all watched because you're subscribed, that you had to go with Pickett. Once you make the move for Trubisky or to pull him out there, doesn't make sense to go back unless Pickett is really bad in several starts. So what do you guys think? Are you glad that Kenny Pickett is now the starting QB for the Steelers in theory the rest of his time? Hopefully, fingers crossed, in Pittsburgh. Type H for your happy, M for your mad. Sound off for me in the comments section. Now for some more injury news and notes. First, maybe the most negative one here. Akello Witherspoon is likely to miss this week's game against the Bills. We'll get to Cam Sutton here as well, but Jack, suddenly, the cornerback room is very banged up in Pittsburgh, and that's a big-time issue for me.
Yeah, I mean, it was already pretty slim pickings in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh fans know that this isn't the best secondary in the NFL, and losing a guy like Witherspoon, who actually hasn't been playing all that well, but he is a starter for a reason. So, I don't really want to see who's behind him, to be honest, but at the same time, it really sucks to have him out of the lineup.
Yeah, so we'll get to Sutton more in depth in a little bit. Levi Wallace would be their next man up. Last week, the Steelers had called up one of their practice squad guys. They might need to do something similar from that standpoint. With Witherspoon out, I think they will call up a practice squad guy. Now, again, I'm not just the only host anymore here, Pittsburgh Steelers Talk. Jack Sperry also on board. You can follow him on Twitter at Jack_Perry. Jack, why should they follow you?
So pretty much, if you like in-depth NFL analysis, go follow me on Twitter, okay? I have my weekly power rankings up there, so if you like power rankings, that sort of stuff, go follow me. I also put I live tweet every Steelers game, so if you can't wait for the post-game reaction, go on my Twitter, follow me, and you can see my live reactions to the games.
That link will be in the comments section. It's at Jack_Sperry on Twitter, All right, more injury notes. We mentioned Akello Witherspoon here, Jack.
Yep.
How about you run us through what's going on with Minkah and Cam and Terrell Edmunds and more here?
Yeah, so let's start with Terrell Edmunds. He's dealing with a concussion. We saw him leave last week against the Jets. With everything going on in the league right now with concussion protocol, I would say I would lean towards him not playing this weekend. But at the end of the day, you never know with concussions and protocol if he's going to pass or not. Then you look at Minkah, and Minkah is such an important part of this defense. Steelers fans know this well. He's dealing with a knee injury. He dealt with a concussion last week. He ended up finishing the game against the Jets, though. So that's very, very optimistic for his prospects to play this week.
I'll make a quick note here. The word that's been thrown around is managed, which I would suspect probably doesn't practice Wednesday. Limited Thursday, full participant Friday, somewhere along those lines, and then plays as they just take it cautious in practice for both him and for Cam Heyward, who's next up.
Yeah, and Cam Heyward, he's dealing with an elbow and an ankle, so he's pretty banged up, but he played. He never really missed any time during the Jets game. So like Fitzpatrick, I expect Heyward to be in the lineup on Sunday. He's going to be managing that elbow and ankle during the week, though. And then Cam Sutton, our other starting corner, other than Witherspoon, he's dealing with a couple injuries as well, a hamstring and a groin. So, I mean, some really important pieces to the Steelers' defense banged up. It's got me worried a little bit.
Too many injuries, not what you want from that standpoint. So with that in mind, what is your panic level right now over all these different injuries for Pittsburgh? They've been hit by the injury bug almost like they're the Ravens. So it's kind of crazy from that standpoint. So what's your panic level? Scale this for me from 1 to 100. 1 on the low end, 100 on the high end. One positive note to wrap things up here. Calvin Austin III is eligible to come off injured reserve. Remember, you go on IR, carry it through the initial roster cuts. After 4 weeks, you can make your return. Unclear if he's going to come off of injured reserve. Mike Tomlin kind of made it sound like one team at practice, which to me means that 21-day window where you can practice for 21 days, then it's come up off of IR or stay on IR for the rest of the year. That window, I think, will be activated. We will see if that is the case. We'll know tomorrow, Wednesday, once practice gets going, and we'll know if he comes off IR before game day. I think they'll give him some time there since receiver isn't the most pressing injury news right now. One more time, folks, make sure to follow Jack Sperry on Twitter. Jack, give me the pitch again.
Yeah, so like I said, in-depth NFL analysis, guys. If you love it, can't get enough of it, go follow me on Twitter. Thanks a lot, Tom, for the shout-out.
That's on Twitter at Jack_Sperry.